Welcome, my dear viewer, to Dr. Paul Kebicho YouTube channel. And today, I have thought it wise that we share a few things pertaining to what we call reality check. More often than not, we always look forward to something. When you entered the nursery school, your motivation and your highest desire was to join class 1. So the motivation that you had to join class 1 immediately ended after joining class 1. And therefore, the bigger picture of doing either CPE or KCPE, depending on which year that you did your exam, became the ultimate goal. Most of us people, we yearned with a lot of anticipation the moment we were to clear our levels, whether you did Certificate of Primary Education or Kenya Certificate of Primary Education. Again, upon clearing either class 7 or class 8, the desire was escalated now to clearing Form 4. Whether you did KCSE or KCE, Kenya Certificate of Education, or Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education, the motivation was to clear that particular level. And again, depending on the years that you studied, the urge to go for what we call either A level, those who did what we call KACE, Kenya Advanced Certificate of Education, or Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education, came in. If you did KACE, then after that, your dream was to go to the university, which the majority of Kenyans did. And it also happened to those people who did KCSE and they passed. Their greatest motivation was to join university. And as soon as you joined university, the desire to clear your degree became the ultimate thing. But immediately upon clearing your degree, again the desire to do a master's degree came in. And upon clearing your master's degree, we still have some individuals who thought of pursuing the education to other heights of doing what we call doctorate. And again, we even have some people who go past what we call postdoctorate, postdoctoral course. Such is life, and as they say in French, c'est la vie. Again, we all had a lot of anticipation that upon clearing school or our college or our university for that matter, we were to get the best jobs ever. Unfortunately, not all desires came to pass. Some of us people, after we cleared university, the highest desire that we had was curtailed by what we call the reality check. That some of us people, educated as we were, or as we are, the openings that we thought existed, obstacles and hindrances became the order of the day. Not all of us were fortunate enough to be placed somewhere, and therefore, majority of Kenyans as it were today are still struggling, looking for what we call their first jobs. Educated as they are, jobs have not been forthcoming. So even looking for a job has become a job on its own. Such is life. Again, c'est la vie. Our desires did not end there. But I want to show you what we call the conundrum or the paradox about life. Many Christians, wherever they are, their desire is to go to Israel, and more so even to go to Bethlehem and to go to Golgotha, among other prominent biblical sites. And I want to remind all of you once again, this life is so funny. Have you at any one time sat down and imagined that we have got some people who were born where we desire to go in our lifetimes? Did you know that we had some people whose neighborhoods happens to be Bethlehem? And therefore, when they see you waking up every morning and praying to God, that it is your lifetime desire and dream to go to Bethlehem, they wonder what it is that you want to come and see in Bethlehem. Such is life. The reality check. Did you know that some people here in Kenya, we have got some people from all over the world whose desire is to come and see Mount Kenya, Mount Kilimanjaro, Longonot, Menengai. But to some of us, because this is where we were born and brought up, we see nothing new, and there is nothing to motivate you to take even a drive closer to those mountains that surround us. Such is life, the reality check. As we speak right now, although the case that had already been determined by one of the courts has been overturned by another court, we have some individuals who are tendering their resignation letters to the president. because they have been working as CAS or maybe CS or PS or ambassadors, and they have this calling of joining what we call the political world. So to them, working for the government is no longer a motivator, whereas to some of us, that's our greatest desire. Such is life. When I was doing my doctorate 8 years ago or thereabouts, when I joined my doctorate in the year 2010, I was always looking forward to becoming a doctor. I no longer remember that I have that title doctor, because my anticipation and what I thought portended for me at that point in time when I was clearing never came to pass. Did you know that we have some individuals whose greatest desire is to earn 10,000 shillings per month? Did you know we have some individuals who earn 1.5 million shillings and they call that one peanuts? And remember, we have another individual whose prayer to God is that he may earn 10,000 shillings per month. Such is life. And that's what we call the reality check. So it is always important, just that like this particular person, Desi letter says, there must be some people always behind you, people whom you are at par, and those people who are actually ahead of you. But in every stage of life, everybody looks forward to something else. Somebody who bought a bicycle today, it is his moment of joy and triumphant. He says so. He is excited because to him, owning a bicycle has been his ultimate desire in life. But did we know we have somebody who has actually ordered a 50 million car? Still a living human being. Do you know that our budget in Kenya is 3.6 trillion shillings? Whereas we have a man from Nigeria by the name Aliko Dangote, whose total asset starts at about 4.2 trillion shillings. So when he comes to Kenya, he's like a whole Kenyan economy. So what becomes our problem, because even the money that we collect from Kenya Revenue Authority is not enough, we have to go for development partners, is what one single individual has been able to accumulate, the reality check. So this thing, I have met quite a number of people. I just traveled back from Meru yesterday, and I met a group of scholars. And we were trying to look at what we call this issue of reality check. When you go to the university, because I'm a lecturer in some of the universities that we have here in Kenya, people have that strong desire to finish their degree, because to them, they think by so doing, things gonna change, their tide's gonna change. There's nothing that comes in, there's no frustration that comes in or sets into an individual when your greatest desire is met by frustration. But that is life. Haven't you realized that when people are going for weddings, we have other individuals on the other side of the road who are going for burial? Haven't you seen that we have some individuals who are well endowed, they don't have a single child, whereas you see a very poor family getting triplets or quadruplets, and in some cases even 6 children at a go, and they make appeal immediately. When others are praying for one single child from the maker, we have others whose resources are so scarce that the first question that lingers into their minds is, how do we raise up these children? The reality check. So one of the things that we must learn to do, if we are to lead a very normal, comfortable life, is to appreciate that every phase in life has its own challenges. We look forward to so many things. Did you know that immediately, right now, we had this person, we had our president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Before he became the president, he was working 24 hours to ensure that he actually became the president of the Republic of Kenya. But don't think that immediately he won that particular seat, he went to slap parade. No, the challenges he has been facing, if he were to come and of course share the experiences that he has gone through since he took over from the former president, Honorable Moi Kibaki, there are quite a number of them. So it does not mean that because you have moved from one level to another, that charity is gonna end. So one of the things that we must appreciate in life is that challenges are a part of us. We shall only get no challenges when we depart from this world. What am I saying? Do what you can at your level. As long as you've been able to unleash your full potential to what you want to achieve in life, don't blame anyone. Don't blame the maker. Don't blame yourself. If you have put the best foot forward and you have done what is expected of you, in the most uncommon hours, God will come and meet the desire of your heart. Do not keep on reminding God what you want. Our God has never been deaf and dumb. I want to thank one of my former managers, Mr. John Bidio Kimeu, for the kind of information that he sent to me that turned aloud, that became a game changer in my life. I have been telling you Kenyans that learning is a continuous process. He sent me a very, very important message that made me now to change the way I pray my God and to start now telling God, because you do not have to remind God twice. Once you tell God once, wait upon his miracles. And I want to remind you this story. Sometimes God does things the way he does them, or God always do things the way he actually do them with a reason. It is not that Hannah had any issue with her fertility. It is not that Hannah had no husband. Hannah had a husband by the name Elkanah. But there's something that God wanted us to learn from that particular story. And even before I go to that particular story, today, the 5th of February 2022, as we had a function at Elysian Hotel in Kiambu County, where we were handing over our positions of being board of management members to the incoming new members because our term had expired. And the referent took a bit of time and he led us the book of Matthew chapter 25 that talks about 3 people that were given different talents. But what did the referent want us to realize or to learn? God has made you a steward of the position that you are in. And God expects you to use your brains to the maximum. Wherever you are, what is it that you have been doing with whatever God has given unto you to change the environment that you operate in? What is it that you can look aloud yourself and turn it aloud to become what we call a strength in your life? So Hannah, when her co-wife, Penina, kept on ridiculing her, at one point she felt bad about it. But one thing that God wanted us to learn from Hannah is that patience pays. You have to be patient. Most of us people, we always forget that it is always darkest before dawn. We always forget that we were so close to achieving what we wanted when we gave up. So I'm here to tell you that the reality check is you have tried doing many things in your lifetime, but some of them don't add up. Sometimes you see as if you're just toiling without getting positive results. There is always a reason to everything. God has a purpose. There is nobody that God created by mistake. Always remember that God created you with a definite purpose, and unless and until such a time when you realize the reason as to why God created you, that you'll get what we call the fulfillment of your life. Most of us people complain. We have seen couples divorcing. And you know why are they divorcing? Because they think that the spouse or the person that they are with does not meet their threshold. Only for them to realize that things were better wherever they were, but they realize when it is too late. What about those people who start a course and they drop it midstream? And those people who persevere, because we say perseverance wears out, persistence wears out resistance. So the moment you keep trying, let me tell you, life is about trying and trying. And I have told you on a number of occasions that what is success? Success is going through failure after failure without losing the enthusiasm to do it. Many are the times when you try once and you give. Some of us people, we just try it once and we lose it. We lose the motivation to repeat. And this guy called Mr. Thomas Edison, who has enabled us now to see the light that we are seeing at this hour, is because he kept on trying. Keep on walking. Why did you walk with your 2 feet? You fell many times when you were a toddler. No, life is like riding a bicycle. It is actually a very delicate balancing act. See what God has given unto you. See what you can do to make your things work. And don't compare yourself with any other person. There is nobody in this world of God that God created as a benchmark to all of us. Not really. We were uniquely created, and God created you with a defined purpose. This is the reality check. Many people have been giving a lot of reasons why they have not excelled in life. You know, I finished Form 4 and I never got money to take myself to university or college. That does not make you not to succeed in life. We have got so many examples of people who never even saw the door of a high school, the inside of high school, but today they are the billionaires. We are not all wired in the same way. Even in our families, our children are not the same. From the same parents, but our children are not the same. So one of the things that we must always endeavor to know is that there is always a room for each of us. The only thing that we need to ask ourselves, what is it that we are doing to turn around our lives? Remember, for this man of God called Abraham to become the great father of many nations, he had to move from the familiar ground. And if I may give you an illustration of an eagle, when an eagle catches a snake, it does not fight a snake on the ground. It ensures that it takes that snake higher above the ground where it commands authority. Because the moment it starts attacking the snake in its environment, it will definitely kill the eagle. But the eagle is so bright that it knows, in order for me to overcome this particular snake, I have to take it above sea level. I have to take it on a higher ground. One, it suffocates the snake. Number two, it is now the one that calls the shots. So you must also ask yourself, which is your ground? What are you good at? What can you do to change your livelihood? This is the reality check. Now look at this. Look at this again. Let me now give you another scenario. The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Dr. William Samoei Ruto, is working 24 hours to ensure that he actually wins the 2022 general elections. We have Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who is giving it the fifth stab. He has tried many times, but he has never lost his resilience. If there is a gentleman who is an example of resilience, tenacity, the oomph, the charisma, the drive, the focus, the zeal, it is Raila Amolo Odinga. He has never given up. So because he has not yet been able to get the prize, he has never lost sight of the bull's eye. That should be the motivation for all of us. It does not matter. And for an aircraft to take off, it goes against the wind. So for those people who don't know, the aircraft creates a lot of thrust on its wings and engines, and it goes against the wind, and that thrust makes it to fly. Similarly, it does not matter the obstacles. The greater the test, the greater the testimony. We must remember, just like in the book of Proverbs 13:12, that waiting is painful, but the moment the fruits come, they are very, very sweet, and will be like a tree planted by the riverside. Similarly, do not lose hope. There are some individuals out there who always think that God never purposed anything good of them. But I'm here to remind you, the greatest asset that you have is being alive, having good health, and being able to do your own things. There is no justifiable at all for you to remain where you've been. You have to change your attitude, you have to start looking at life positively, and you have to make a choice. I have told you in the past, it is not by chance, it is by choice that we divine our destinies. So my dear viewer, you are there, you have lost hope. I'm here to encourage you. Do not lose hope. Never lose hope. God has a better plan for you. And as he says in the book of Isaiah 54, verses 17, no weapon fashioned against you shall prosper. And again, the Bible says, even if you walk through the valley of death. Remember, those are promises that God has given us. And just like our theme is in our church this year, that let us enlarge our territories, our tents. God is going to enlarge you in a bigger way. But you can't afford to lose hope. The worst that you can do is to lose hope. The future is still bright. You have tried many things. I have given you my own personal story that I used to walk 64 kilometers daily, all the way from a place called Ihithe, coming through Mugwe, to a place called Gatobero, Wagoko, Wakenyongo, Ishagashiro, Huhoine, Gaithuri, then Gadathine, and I made it. Because believe you me, in that uncommon hour, God is going to show you that he still minds about you and your destiny is bright. So, my dear viewer of Dr. Paul Kebicho YouTube channel, PhD, QB, HSC, there is nothing that's going to make you lose faith. Go to the book of Hebrews chapter 1 verses 11. It is by faith that we believe in things that we have never seen. Why? Because the one who makes promises, he holds your tomorrow on his palms. So we need to keep trying. We need to keep walking. We need to keep our focus onto the prize because God has a purpose for you. God created you with a purpose. And unless and until you fulfill that purpose, the reality check is keep your faith. Keep your ember burning. In the most uncommon hours, God is going to change your life. And I have told you this and I repeat. We have some CS cabinet secretaries, cabinet assistant secretaries, permanent secretaries who are tendering the resignation at this point in time. We have some of us people who are looking forward to going to those places that these people are now daring to walk out. That is what you call, that is life. And that is why we say, what is one person's poison is another person's food. And I'm not going to mention the name of an individual. You saw the other day a governor who divorced his wife. And as soon as he divorced his wife, we had another man waiting on the line. And now I understand they have done a private wedding. And such is life. So what you think is not working for you fixes another person's life. The reality check. So let's keep praying God. Let's keep our faith. Let's not lose hope. Let's trust this God, because God has a plan for all of us. And God, the Bible says in the book of Isaiah 59, 1-3, we shouldn't at any one time think that the hand of God is so short that it can't save. It is because of our iniquities that separates us from the love of God. May we put our faith unto God. May we have trust in our God. And I'm telling you, it does not matter. You don't have to be known by anybody. You don't have to be associated to those families. We talk of dynasties. We talk about what? Because when God says yes, nobody can say no. When God opens a door for you, it does not matter. God does not call for what we call a board meeting to seek the opinions of other individuals to bless you. When He purposes to bless you, He blesses you. May we have faith in God, because with God, we have a sure bet that our tomorrow is bright. May God bless you. Shalom, shalom, shalom.